What if I told you there's a stock strategy so simple that Wall Street doesn't want you to know about it? A strategy that turned my pizza delivery money into enough cash to finally breathe financially? 6 months ago, I was broke. Not, I can't afford the premium Netflix broke. I'm talking about counting coins for gas money broke. I was working 2 jobs, sleeping 4 hours a night, and watching my friends post vacation photos while I was eating ramen for the 3rd time that week. Then everything changed with one Google search at 2 a.m. I was scrolling through Reddit because apparently that's what you do when you can't sleep and hate your life. When I stumbled across a comment buried deep in r/investing. Some random user with 47 karma mentioned something called momentum trading with earnings whispers. Most people would scroll past, but something about those 3 words made me stop. Maybe it was desperation. Maybe it was the fact that I had nothing left to lose. But I clicked. What I discovered next literally made me sick to my stomach. Not because it was risky, but because of how stupidly simple it was. Here's the thing about Wall Street. They make money when you think investing is complicated. They want you to believe you need a finance degree, expensive software, and insider connections to make real money in the stock market. That's complete garbage. The strategy I'm about to share with you requires no special knowledge, no complex calculations, and definitely no $50,000 minimum investment. All you need is $500 and the ability to read earnings calendars, and yes, they're free. I call it the earnings momentum trap strategy. Every quarter, companies report their earnings. But here's what most people don't realize. The real money isn't made after the earnings announcement. It's made in the 3 to 7 days before the announcement, when smart money starts positioning itself. I started tracking stocks that had 3 specific characteristics. First, earnings announcement within 5 to 7 days. Second, recent analyst upgrades, and you can find these free on Yahoo Finance. Third, unusual options activity, which is also free to track. When all 3 aligned, I'd put 10% of my available cash into that stock and sell 2 to 3 days before earnings. Not after, before. My first trade was AMD in November last year. I bought $50 worth of shares at $89.23 on a Tuesday. By Thursday, it was at $94.67. I sold and made $31 profit in 2 days. $31. I literally laughed out loud. I had spent more on coffee that week, but then I did the math. That was a 62% return in 48 hours. Annualized, that would be, well, let's just say it would make Warren Buffett jealous. But here's where I almost screwed up everything. I got greedy on my second trade. Instead of selling before earnings like my strategy demanded, I held through the announcement just to see what would happen. I lost $127 in 5 minutes. That loss taught me the most valuable lesson of my entire investing career. Discipline beats intelligence every single time. After that wake-up call, I stuck to the strategy religiously. $50 became $100. $100 became $200. By month 3, I was working with $1,890. But the real magic happened when I started reinvesting 80% of my profits and only withdrawing 20% for living expenses. The compound effect was insane. Month 1, $500 became $720. Month 2, $720 became $1,180. Month 3, $1,180 became $1,890. Month 4, $1,890 became $3,240. Month 5, $3,240 became $8,450. Month 6, $8,450 became $18,230. Let me tell you about the 3 trades that really changed my life. Trade number 1 was NVDA in December. I spotted unusual call option activity 3 days before earnings. Stock was at $267. I bought in Tuesday, sold Thursday at $289. Made $847 on a $1,200 investment. Trade number 2 was TSLA in February. Triple analyst upgrades in 1 week, earnings in 4 days. I got in at $178, out at $194. Turned $2,100 into $3,890. Trade number 3 was AAPL in April. This was my biggest bet so far. Everything aligned perfectly. Earnings whispers, analyst momentum, unusual options flow. I put $4,200 into AAPL at $185.40. Sold at $198.20. That single trade made me $2,890. After that AAPL trade, I was finally able to pay off my credit card debt and start building a real emergency fund. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. This strategy isn't magic, and it's definitely not without risks. I've had weeks where I lost money, I've had trades that kept me awake at night, and there were moments when I questioned whether I was just getting lucky. The 3 biggest dangers are overconfidence. After my first big win, I thought I was invincible. That's when you make stupid mistakes. Second is timing. Get the timing wrong by even one day, and your profit can evaporate. Third is market conditions. This strategy works best in stable or slightly bullish markets. During major corrections, all bets are off. I know what you're thinking. If this strategy is so good, why isn't everyone doing it? 3 reasons. Most people don't have the patience to track earnings calendars and analyst reports. It requires selling before the exciting part, the actual earnings announcement. And it goes against every buy and hold advice you've ever heard. But here's the truth. I'm sharing this because I'm done being the only one who benefits from information that should be public. Wall Street makes billions by keeping profitable strategies locked away from regular people like us. They want you to believe that making money in the stock market is either impossible or requires decades of patient investing. If you're serious about trying this strategy, here's exactly what you need to do. Start small. Use money you can afford to lose completely. I started with pizza money, not rent money. Track everything. Keep a spreadsheet of every trade, including the ones that don't work. Set strict rules. Define your entry and exit points before you buy, and stick to them no matter what. Stay disciplined. The moment you start breaking your own rules is the moment you start losing money. Remember, this isn't financial advice. It's just one person's experience with a strategy that changed their life. Your results will definitely vary, and you could lose money. But if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if you're sick of watching other people get rich while you struggle, maybe it's time to try something different. And the question isn't whether this strategy will work for you. The question is, what are you going to do with the information you just learned?